Morning. Good morning, everybody here in the Avas Shalom Kol El Bet Shemesh. Good morning to everybody who watches us on YouTube or Torah anytime. We are learning Amud Yomi. That's an Amud of Gemara a day. Maseches Kiddushin Daf Yud Zayin Amud Beis. Today's Amud is Yud Ches Amud Aleph, but we are still in Yud Zayin Amud Beis in the seventh wide line. Omar Rove. Dvar Torah says Rove. Midoraisa Ovid Kochovim Yoresh Es Oviv. An Ovid Kochovim, a Gui, a non-Jewish person, Yerush Asoviv, inherits his father. He gets a Yerusha from the father. Shenemar v'chishav im konehu, velo im yorshe konehu. It says that when you want to redeem a Jewish slave from the akum, what do? You have to calculate, make the cheshbon with konehu, with the one who bought him, velo im yorshe konehu, and not with the Yoshim, not with the heirs, not with the children who inherited from the father. Why? Because they don't inherit. From here we see that a goy does not inherit his father's Eved Ivri. That's what he doesn't inherit. Michlal, that is to say, that means that the Isle Yoshim, otherwise, yes. That if not for Eved Ivri, any other item under the sun, he is Yerush from his father. Oh, so good. So that's a source. Midoraisa, a goy is Yerush's father. I was very, very happy to see the Ritva, who basically gives an afkamina that I said, the Ritva says, who cares whether the goy is Yerush the father or not? One afkamina would be if a Yid goes to the house of the goy, a Jewish person sees that the goy died, he goes and he chaps the items over there. He starts, taking things from the goy after the goy's death. Don't make me faces. How do you know that it's not hefker? Because the Torah said that the children were Yerush. I need the Torah to tell me that. Because the Torah tells me that a Jew is Yerush's father. That's the whole Parshas Nachlos, which you learned in Bava Basra. Right? It says there, the son, if not in this, the daughter, B'Shlovchod, and all that, the brothers, that's all by Jews. I don't know if that applies by Goy. Maybe if a Goy dies, everything is hefker, and everyone should buy, or I don't know, the authority should get it. No. We see not like that. Comes the Torah and indirectly tells me that the goy has Yorshim Midoraisa. Who are they? The children. I don't know if the children are not around, if it's the same order, the father, the brothers. I'm not sure, actually. I haven't seen anything about it today. But the sons, they are the Yorish. Shenema, okay, so we know the source. Now, Ger es oived kochovim. What about a ger? What about if a person was Megayer, right? In other words, this person is a son of a goy, and he was Megayer, became Jewish. Eina midivrei Torah, ela midivrei soifrim. Midoraisa, the ger, the son of the goy, doesn't get any inheritance, any Yerusha. Why? Gershin is gayer kekoton shenol adami. That's a famous rule. A Gershin is gayer is like a newborn baby. Born again, not born again Christian, born again Jewish. Yeah. So now he is a whole new person, and therefore Midoraisa, he does not get anything from the father. But Midivrei Soifrim, Rabbanon made a takono that he should be getting. Why? Where do you see that? That not, it says in the Mishnah in Avodah Zarah, the following story: Ger ve'ovid kachovim sheyoshu es avihem. Ger ve'ovid kachovim. The two brothers, one is a ger, one is a goy. One became Jewish and one stayed the way he always was. And they both were yoresh from the father, who obviously was a goy. He died and he left a lot of money behind. Ovid kachovim is the father. Yoshua Savim, Ovid kachovim. So now the problem is that goy left behind the dead guy, the dead goy guy, the DGG, dead goy guy. What happened with him? He left behind Avodah Zarah. Some of the things were neutral and nice, and the other items are all kinds of statues, maybe crosses, whatever that was. Ger yochel lomer lovid kachovim. A ger, now the ger, obviously, he's not interested in the Avodah Zarah. You're not allowed to own Avodah Zarah. You're not allowed to sell Avodah Zarah. Mistake, I'm sorry. You're not allowed to sell Avodah Zarah. You're not allowed to do anything with Avodah Zarah. So now the ger is going to lose by what? Not having all the Avodah Zarah. That seemingly, although halachically it's not worth money, but he does want Avodah Zarah. So what could he do? I would say switch, right? In other words, Avodah Zarah, he should tell his brother, you take the Avodah Zarah that's worth money, the beautiful golden statue of Buddha Shmuda, and I'll take instead of that the swimming pool. So ger yochel loimer lovet kechovim. The ger is allowed to tell his brother, the Ovid Kechovim, toil ato avodas kechovim. You take the avodas kechovim that's worth $100,000, vani mois, and I will take the $100,000 mois instead of them in the house. Instead of taking 50-50 on the money and 50-50 on the statue, the golden statue, what will we do? I'll take all the money and you will take the Avodah Zarah, and that is allowed. That is allowed to do, and it's a big Kiddush, as we're going to soon see. Now, another example. Let's say that Avodah Zarah was really serious in Avodah Zarah. He had a lot of wine, and the wine was not just also Midarabonon. The one was also the Raisa, was one which was real libation. He used to do libation, Avodah Zarah, mamish yain for tikroivis Avodah Zarah, to serve the getchka in his backyard, and he has that yain which is completely Avodah Zarah. So he can tell the guy, the Jew can tell the guy, you take the tray for wine of Avodah Zarah, vani peros, and I will take the other fruit. I'll take the apples and oranges that grew in the orchard, which are absolutely okay. So that is okay to switch and say to his brother, the goy, you take the Avodah Zarah, and I'll take in return, and I'll take instead of that the other items. So we're switching and swapping, and that it is okay to do. Aha. If they came to the reshus of the ger already, if let's say the ger, mistakenly or not, he already took the getchkas, and he took already the fruit and vegetables and everything in the cash, he took it to his house, and now he wants to switch and say, okay, the Avodah Zarah I have in my house, you take it, and instead I will get the fruit, the vegetables, the other stuff, the cash. That's already a point of no return. That's usher. We're going to explain everything. Everything will be explained. But that's what the halacha says. They're allowed to switch and swap as long as it didn't reach his reshus. Once it already came to the reshus of the yid, of the Jewish guy, then he cannot do anything. It's also he lost. Now he should have asked the rabbi before. Should have called his rabbi in Eisha Torah. Frek the Gemara, or actually the Gemara is not asking. The Gemara is now proving. The Gemara is proving now. What did we say before? A ger that inherited from his father Avodah Zarah, or not Avodah Zarah, anything in general. The whole concept of inheritance by a ger is only with the Rabbanon, because he's a Jew and the father is a guy. Rabbanon are the ones who actually decided that the Yerusha will be his. And now we have to understand and we prove it from this story. What's the proof? Says the Gemara like this. Let's say the Yerusha wouldn't have been the Rabbanon Midoraisa. Let's say the ger would really be Yerush his father Midoraisa. What happens the second that the guy, Mackenzie Sr., died? They own everything together. They own the Avodah Zarah. They own it jointly, right? But they all own the Avodah Zarah, and they own the fruit, the cash, the other things. If so, kiloi ba'al l'rshusoi, even before it came, even before the items came to the reshus, to the domain of the ger, who l'rshusoi nami too kishakil chiluf avodas kechovim udekashakil. How can he switch apples and oranges for the Yeinesech? How can he switch the cash for the statue of the Buddha? It's also because you're taking your Buddha now. Everything belonged to everybody. And now what do? We're doing a business deal. From this point onwards, we are now following the opinion that says, Achim shecholku leku chosen. They're all the customers. I have everything, you have everything. We're doing a business deal. I'm actually buying the apples and oranges in return for the Buddha that I'm giving you. How can you do that? You're doing business with Avodah Zarah. That's usher, right? There's no way you can do that, right? That's what you're saying now. Ela must be midarabonon. It's only midarabonon, which means what? Says Tosfos, Rabbanon decided, since the entire Yerusha is only the Rabbanon, Doraisa, he wasn't Yerush anything at all. Midoraisa, Mackenzie, the son, who's now studying in Or Sameach in Yerushalayim, and is not the halachic son of his father, he gets 0 in the Yerusha. Chachamim decided, soon we'll see why, that they are giving him part in the Yerusha, and it's up to them to decide what will he get and what won't he get. And they decide that Avodah Zarah never came to him. They decide that Avodah Zarah he never had part in it. Yeah, maybe his brother thinks that there is, but we know, that there isn't. Really, he's not part of that Avodah Zarah business at all. Chachamim did not makne him the Avodah Zarah, and therefore what? And therefore we say Baruch Hashem that he only gets the cash, he only gets the fruit to begin with, and that's what he gets, and that's it. And the guy got the Avodah Zarah, let him stay with his Avodah Zarah, and then it's all fine. Now, why is it so? Why really do we say that Chachamim allowed the ger to receive part of the Yerusha of his father, the kosher part of the Yerusha? Says the Gemara, Gzeru David Rabbanon, Rabbanon made the Gezerah, Shema Yachzor Lesuroi. We are concerned that if the Yid, the now Jewish Mackenzie Jr., will now say, my brother is a billionaire and I got nothing from the Yerusha, I'll become a goy again, he'll be Chozel Asur and go off the derech. For the money, in order to get the money, he'll go off the derech. Yeah? So Tosfos Lamaisa says that obviously it's a very sad mistake. Because even if he goes off the derech, he still stays a Jew. That's a problem with Gerim that are megar too quickly. That's why we reject Gerim, because in case the Geras will be too hard, at some point he'll just become another Chiloni, Lo Aleinu, with all the children. And these things happen more than once, more than twice. And therefore what? And therefore we say, listen, we are concerned that although halachically he'll be downright wrong, emotionally he would, yes, think, these rabbis, these Torah, that don't allow me to have the money that I deserve, he may go back to be his old way, even though even worse, it'll be a mumal, and therefore we say, okay, let him yarshan his father, so that shouldn't happen. So far, so good. There is a very big, glaring question here asked by all the many Rishonim, but to that I will get later. Taninami hachi comes a brisa to support what we said. By the way, the Ritva asks the question, why didn't you Taninami hachi? Because we already said a Mishnah. You don't bring a Mishnah to prove a Mishnah. Right? So we're going to gain something new by seeing the next Mishnah. Says the brisa, when is it true that what we said is right, that as long as it didn't come to his house, I didn't explain that. That is I'll explain to that soon. What did we say up until now? If the two brothers, what did they get? All one messy, whatever, Yerusha with forbidden and permitted items, right? So we say only because it's the Rabbanon and the Jewish brother never really has any part in the Avodah Zarah, he's time playing the game, and therefore he's switching the Avodah Zarah for apples and oranges, and really he only has the apples and oranges right from the start. He never had to do anything with the Avodah Zarah, and the guy, we're not making the guy lose. The guy gets exactly the same amount with the Avodah Zarah right from the start. That's what we say in the Rabbanon, right? That's why it's allowed. What happened if it came to his domain? Why did we say that if it comes to his domain of the Jew, then that's a point of no return? What do you think? Because once it came to his domain, it's mamish his. If I'm koine with the Zorah, bring it to my house, or yeinesech, either by meshicha or kinyan chotzer, it's mine. It's nothing to do with Yerusha. As long as it was one messy thing in the house, in the estate of the old man in Texas, then we say, what? I have nothing to do with that. And Chachamim said, I have nothing to do with that. I'm switching, really meaning that I never had anything to do with the Avodah Zarah. But if I took the Avodah Zarah into my house in Mea Sharim or the Yainesech, and then I switch it, that's too late, because then I'm koine. I'm koine it. I haven't seen it actually in any of the Rishonim. Tosfos is not so like that, but it's Poshup Pshat. That's Poshup Pshat. Also works very well with the Ritva. So that's too late. Comes another brisa to add something and says like this: when they just yarshened, meaning what? Once we say that it's Yerusha, then Chachamim can play in the game and say, listen, you're not really a Yoresh, you can switch it as long as you're not really koine. Aval kshenishtatfu also. Kshenishtatfu. What happens if you have a goy and a Jew that are real shutfim? We made business together, and together we got together, and we bought. What did we get? Avodah Zarah, all kinds of items from China. China. Avodah Zarah. We bought socks and shoes, computers, and little Buddha statues. He didn't know, the Jew. Then the Jew is calling the rabbi. The Rebbe would say, no, you can't switch it. You can't swap it now, not even from the start. Why? Because now when you're switching and you're giving the Goy partner, you're giving Mackenzie the computers and socks, you're giving him the Avodah Zarah statues, and you take the computers and socks and shoes, even though it's the same amount of money, that's bad. Because if you're really a shutaf, then Chachamim are not there to help you and say, Nishtatfu, it's Yerusha is not Yerusha. You really bought it. You really acquired it. If you really acquired everything together, then now the fact that you are switching, you're really switching your Avodah Zarah for money. And you get apples, oranges, computers, and socks for the Avodah Zarah, which clearly was yours because you bought it online by Alibaba. And therefore, that for sure is also. Says the Ritva, what did we gain from that other example? I don't know how much to get you guys into it, but I'll tell you. I'll go a little bit by you now. The Ritva points out, and that bothered me right from the start. Everything we say here is under one huge question mark, because we're assuming all the time that when the brothers inherited something from the father, as you, Parrot, said, it belongs to everybody. Now, let's say half a year later, with all the lawyers and all the legality and all the decisions, how to split and how to share, what did they do? They split. How do you view that split? We keep saying all the time, Achim sheyoshu lekuchos hen. We had that, I think, in the past. They are like lekuchos, they are like customers who buy from each other. We all have something in common. I'm buying you out and you buying me out. And what? And from now on, up until now, we were together in it. We were in it together. From now on, we're splitting, right? By buying each other out. There's another way to look at it, and that would make the entire Gemara be wrong. The other way of looking at it is much simpler. Achim shecholku yorshim hen, which means there's a concept called, which we've seen many times, yesh breira. Yesh breira means that when you split something, you do something, whichever halachic act you do, not in many cases, it works retroactively right from the start, which means if the father died in Tishrei Tafshin Pei Gimel, and they did the Chalukah 6 months later, Nisan Tafshin Pei Gimel. So now we know in Nisan Tafshin Pei Gimel, the Jew got the apples and oranges, and the Goy got the Getchke. That shows us is mevarer, that clarifies that right from the time of death, really the Jew only had apples and oranges, and the Goy only had Getchke. There is such a way to look at it. And then the Gemara's proof is down the drain, I'm sorry to say. The Rishonim said that Toises Ritva, Toises Rosh, they all ask, maybe Enochinami, maybe Yerusha is the Oraisa. But once the Yid actually decided he's getting the apples and oranges, he didn't switch his for his. Now we know that he always, when the father closed his eyes 6 months ago, then what I got was apples and oranges. Up until now, it was one big messy kishkush. So we didn't know. Now we clarified the fact it was always his. So we never had it with the Zara. Basically, the Ritva says that no, Ritva says our sugya doesn't follow that opinion. Our sugya doesn't follow that opinion. Our sugya follows the opinion that says that the brothers are like customers that did own everything up until now, and we can't rewrite history. And from now on, yeah, to say I'm switching what's mine for yours is also, you can't switch your Avodah Zarah for his apples and oranges. How come it's allowed? Must be it's the Rabbanon. Must be really that the whole idea of Yerusha of Goy is just with the Rabbanon of a ger to a Goy, and Rabbanon can play around, Hefker based in Hefker. Chachamim can say, we decided that he never got Avodah Zarah, he only got the apples and oranges. That's a nice Jewish ger. Very good. Now, there's more. The Ritva says something very nice, but I think it's too much. Weiter. Now, what about the other way around? What about a ger that is a Goyish son? Ever occurred to you? Yeah, the son did not join the father in his spiritual trip. Yeah, Mackenzie Sr., he became frum. Yeah, it was like, yeah, he saw the light. But the son remained a goy. Okay. What about another case? Very common. You have a family of gerim. The father is a ger. The son is also a ger. The father was Megayer when he was 40, and the son, their name is Megayer, MC Megayer. The father Megayer when he was 40, and the son is Megayer when he's 10. Yeah, are they father and son halachically? No, they both came into Judaism from vacuum, from Gershon is Gayer. What happens in that case? Now the father died. Oived Kechovim is Sager. Oived Kechovim inheriting, yarshening, from his father, the ger, yeah, the ger es a ger, or a ger to yarshin the father, the ger, ein lo midivrei Torah velo midivrei soifrim. They do not get the Yerusha, not from Torah, not midivrei soifrim. Yeah, I have no Inyan, a goy to yarshin the ger. Why should I dafka make the goy yarshin from the ger? Also, the ger from the father, the ger, there's no Inyan. Yeah, he's not losing. The brothers, all the brothers are the same. Ger and ger. Yeah, the ger from a ger, they're not connected bichlal, and there's no point of instituting otherwise because nobody gets the Yerusha there. Ditnan, look what it says in the Mishnah. Lova mois min a ger, a person borrowed money from a ger, shenisgairu bonov imoy. Oh, you borrowed money from a ger, and that ger has children gerim, nisgairu bonov imoy. In the same date, they all went to the mikveh, they all went to have bris milah, so they are halachically, so to speak, halachically not connected. They're not a father and son. A goy midoraisa, a ger midoraisa is allowed to marry his daughter, the gioris, the rabbanon. They said it's not nice. When midoraisa, yes, they're not blood relatives halachically. So now, and the children were megayer. Lo yachzir lebonov. The guy died. Oh, oy, oy, oy. The ger himself died. Now, do I have to return a loan to the children I borrowed from the ger? Now, when I return to the ger's children, we're not really his children, and they're really not Yerushim at all. There's no Yerusha. How do you know there's no Yerusha? It says, Lo yachzir lebonov. I don't have to give back the money to the children, and I'm not a thief. Not only that, why? Because they're not Yarshanim. They didn't Yarshanim, not even with the Rabbanon. 1 second, please. Wow. If you did give the money back to the children, Chachamim are not happy with you. Not that you did anything wrong. Says Rashi, Klemer, En machzikin lo toiva, shelo tzrichu lekach. Nobody actually told you to do it. It's not necessarily such a good thing. You want to dafka do an extra good thing with your money and you feel it's very fair. Donate the money. Donate the money to Avos Shalom. Donate the money to Yeshiva. Yeah, donate the money to, I don't know, my food for the soldiers. It's not dafka such dafka. Okay, you see that they need it. You see they look at it badly. Etc. It's not dafka something Chachamim instituted that you have to do because those children of the ger who are themselves gerim, yeah, we don't think they're going back to any off the derech. We don't think they'll feel frustrated. Yeah, v'chule v'chule. No Inyan. There's no Inyan to do that. 1 second, parents. What did you want to say?
Any
Yes.
whatever he's entitled.
Are you asking or stating?
You're going to claim it.
Are you asking or stating? You asking? Yeah. Okay. Very nice. I'd like to add to what the Gemara said. You're saying a very, very nice addition to what we're saying. Peretz is just shedding some light over here on the matter. Since this guy, now we assume, by the way, Peretz, let's say this guy doesn't have children that were born to him after he was a ger. In other words, let's say that ger he did not actually father new children after he was Megayer, because then they would inherit from him. Let's say that guy was Megayer and he has, I don't know, 3 sons. They were all Megayer when he was Megayer, right? Okay. In such a case, what do we say? None of them are his children. So who yashens him? Nobody. 100%. And Nichse Ger is classical case of Hefker. We just saw it a few days ago. And therefore, if I borrowed from a Ger and the Ger died, what's going to happen with the money? It will stay mine, and only mine. Do I have to give it to them? No. Love dafka. You want to give it to dafka? Okay. If you feel they need it. Chachamim are not like dafka saying you should, because even with the Rabbanon, they are not yarshaning the father. You just added something very nice, very good. Yes. Shalomo, you okay? Excuse me? Which Ava? Which Dark Shalom? They're not going. Ava and Dark Shalom were the goyim, not with Gerim. Sorry. No, wrong. Sorry. Weiter. Ta'atanya frek da heilige Gemure Ta'atanya ruach chachomim noicha imenu. It says about seemingly the exact same case, another brisa, contradictory, that says ruach chachomim noicha imenu. Yeah? In other words, ruach chachomim noicha imenu means that exactly the opposite. If a ger died, leaving behind gerim who are not really his children, right? Okay. And really, as Peretz said, the money is hefker, right? And I don't have to give it to the children. Look what it says. that if I gave it to the children, oh, that's very nice. You're doing a great thing. You're doing a good deed. Excuse me. Will the brises make up their minds? The Choira answers the Gemara, Lo Kasha. It's not difficult. There are two types of gerim who were megayer, so to speak, too late. Case number one, I'll go one by one. Case number one, where there is no Inyan to give the not gosh, the Geirish children, there's no Inyan to give them the money back. It's not really back to them. That is when they were that's the word in English. They were conceived and were born Shaloi B'Kedusha, not B'Kedusha. In other words, as I said, the whole Geirus started when, after they were born. They were Megayer at the age of 1, at the age of 13. A cotton that's Mizgar, it's another story. You have to ask him afterwards if he wants to or not. They were Megayer at the age of 5, 10, and 15, and 20. Lo mishane. Those Geirim, I don't have to give them anything. They're not the legal Yoshim of the father. Lav dafkeinin to give it to them. Maybe they have enough money. Give the money to Ponevish. Bekan, Yudches Amud Aleph. When is it that we said that you do have to give? Not have to. That it's a good kind of almost a takono to yes give them. It's encouraged yes to give the children. When is that? Sharosoi sheloi b'kedusha v'leidosoi b'kedusha. Wow, we're talking here about a child that was megayer while his mother was pregnant with him. He was conceived sheloi b'kedusha v'leidosoi b'kedusha. He was born to Jewish parents. So that's the whole question here in other Gemaras too. Here it seems like Midoraisa is not his father's child. Wow, he's not, because he was not fathered b'kedusha. When the father, excuse my language, created him, then the father was a goy, the mother was a goyte. Yeah, they only became Jewish in the middle of the pregnancy, right? So Midoraisa really is not his son. However, because he was born to Jewish parents, when he was born, oh, the father was fully Jewish, black hat, bris milah, frum, the mother had a tichel down to here. When he was born, they were completely Jewish, and therefore in such a case, Chachamim instituted that you better yes give him the money back. Why? Says the first Rashi on the page, he can easily, mistakenly be switched for Israel Gomor. Every Yachne in the street doesn't know exactly when what happened between the husband and wife. What do they know? They saw that he was born how? To Jewish parents. So people would think, look, this boy is mamish the boy of the son of his parents. He was born to them when they were from already. They don't know exactly the history. And therefore, Michlaf, people may mistakenly misunderstand the story, and they'll say, hey, why aren't you giving back the money to the legal child? What do you mean Gershon is guy? He's born to a Jewish father. So because that mistake is too tricky, too funny, therefore made it takono, do give back the money to the child who was already born to Jewish parents, although it was not conceived by them, because he's too close to being Jewish, he's too similar to a regular Jewish kid born to a ger father, and therefore that money should be given. Okay, that's what we say. Needless to say, obviously, if he was conceived b'kedusha and everything was b'kedusha, then he's mamish the son of the ger, obviously midoraisa. Taisa says an opposite pshat. I'm not going there right now. That's a pashup pshat here. Rav Chia bar Abin Omar Rabbi Yochanan. Rav Chia bar Abin Omar Rabbi Yochanan says the same thing Lakrova, but he brings you a different source. Yeah. Rabbi Chia bar Abin Omar Rabbi Yochanan. Ovid kechovim yerushas oviv dvar Torah. It's true that an Ovid kechovim is Yerush the father, his father midoraisa. Don't get confused. Up until now, I spoke about a ger who doesn't get from the father, but a goy with a goy does get the Yerusha. What did Rabbi say? How do you know it says Rove? We learned it from where? It says Rove, Chishavim Koneu, and not with the Yoshim. Says Rabbi Yochanan, a different source. Dichtiv, Ki Yerusha le'esav nasati esal seir. Look, it says in Parshas Dvorim, Hashem said, I gave Yerusha to Esav, Har Seir. Har Seir, I think, is in Jordan of today, maybe Saudi Arabia. Har Seir, and Har Seir is something that was given to Esav as a Yerusha from Avram and Yitzchak. Esav got Har Seir. So his nation, Edom, Esav, Seir, that's where they sit. They got it Yerusha from Zaidi Avram, father Yitzchak. Esav was a goy. He got his Yerusha, Har Seir. Okay, so Esav and Esav what? Esav a goy bequeathed it to his children. Says the Gemara, no, that doesn't prove anything. Deal Mesol Mumar Shiny. Esav wasn't a goy. Esav was Israel. He was a Mumar. He went off the derech. Esav was had very very from parents, Yitzchak and Rivka. Wow. But Esav himself was a mumar. He went to the wrong direction, and so did his children. So Esav gave his children, but really originally they're Jewish. They're not pure goyim. So maybe by them there's Yerusha. Interesting. So interesting. It's very interesting that this Gemara treats Avram and Yitzchak as Jews, and Esav as a Jew who went off. It's very very interesting, and it raises many many questions. But again, not for now. Yeah, interesting. Because sometimes the ovois are actually treated halachically like a ben noyach, with certain halachas, mekabel, not mekabel. Here we view Esav as a Jew. He became a mumar. Just let's remember that. Ella, so we're still looking for a source to tell you that a goy, a regular, pure race goy, you know, a real Mackenzie, is moirish and bequeaths his children. How do you know? Ela mehocha, from a different source. Kilebnei loit nosatis ar Yerusha. Also over there it says, yeah, it says another pasuk, yeah, don't start with the children of Loit also, Moav. Don't start with Moav. Moav, they have every right to sit in the land because the children of Loit, Ammon and Moav, they received the city or the area of Ar as a Yerusha. Now, Loit was never Jewish. Loit was the son of Hora, not of Avram. It was a nephew. Avram was Megayer, let's say, with Bris Milah, and so his children were all Jews. Loit, no. Loit was a very interesting character, ashkafically. There's a lot to say about Loit. Baruch Reins wrote a whole article about Loit. But Lamaisa, Loit was a goy, and his children are goyim. And yet you see, Yerusha, look, it says Loit definitely gave over Yerusha, the city of Ar in Jordan, to his children. So here's the source, okay? So it's an alternative source. Now the Gemara is going to cross-reference them. Break the Gemara over Rav Chia bar Abin, my time alone Malkirove. Why didn't Rav Chia bar Abin say Lakrova that the source for a Yerusha v'goy, goy Yerusha goy, is from Chishav im Koneu and not with the children, meaning the children don't get the Eved, i.e., they get everybody else, everything else. He says, no, I don't agree with this drosha. Miksiv, does it say in the Torah, the Chishav im Koneu, v'lo im Yerusha Koneu? No, it doesn't say it. It says you should calculate with who. You should make the business, the dealings, with a goy who bought the Jew, and that's what it says. The additional words "velo im yoshe koneh" was what you say, Rava. Rava, you're an Amar just like me. I'm sorry. You learn you darshan your own drasha, the goy and not the goy's children. Mashma, the are yours something else. I don't go for that. I don't buy the drasha. I never learned it from my rabbi. Absolutely legitimate. The Rava my time alone Rav Chia bar Abin. Why didn't Rava say like Rav Chia bar Abin Mishem Rabbi Yochanan? It's a Mefusha pasuk. This is not a drasha. It says outright, black and white, the Loit gave over Yerusha to his children. What are you going to say then? Answers the Gemara, Mishum Kvoided Avram Shaini. It's different. In other words, although Loit was a goy, and the goy gave over to his children, what's their name, Ammon and Moav, the land, he's not a regular goy. There, the Torah has special interest because of Avram's dignity. Avram really cared for Loit a lot. Avram and Loit, at the end of the day, with all the messy story, they were close to each other. And of course, Avram has kavod from the fact that his nephew is, giving over, is bequeathing the land to his children. So some kind of like a out of line rule. Usually a goy may not dafka be moirish to his children. Over here, it's more like a gift. I don't know if it's Mamash Yerusha. It's a gift that Hashem gave the children of Loit because of Avram, because Loit also had the right to get it. You know why? Because Loit didn't reveal that Sarah was with Avram. He didn't reveal that she was his wife. Loit has his chusim, and really all these chusim of Loit are really a reflection of Avram. So because of Avram being involved in the story, Hashem said that's an exception to the rule. Loit can give like a gift to his children. But from here to learn from Loit to any McKinley and every Megayer, no, lav dafka. That doesn't reflect on the whole story. Tonu Rabbanon. Back to slavery. Tonu Rabbanon. Now we have another brisa differentiating between men and women slaves. Tonu Rabbanon. Yesh be'ivri she'en be'ivriya. Some halachas refer to, apply to an Eved Ivri and not to the woman Ivriya, to the Amma. Yesh be'ivriya she'en be'ivri. And some things apply to a woman Amma, to a woman servant, and not to male servant. What are they? Look at that. Yesh be'ivri shu yoytze b'shonim u'be'yovel u'b'misa sa'odoin. An Ivri, an Eved Ivri goes out after 6 years. He goes out be'yovel, even if the yovel came before the 6 years. U'b'misa sa'odoin. And if the odoin dies, then the Eved Ivri, he goes out. Yeah, he's free to go. Masha'enken be'ivriya. The Ivriya, no. The Ivriya, what happens? After 6 years, she stays. She stays for longer than 6 years. She stays even after Yovel, and after Misa Sa'odon, she also stays. You're all okay? Okay, fine. Interesting. V'yesh b'ivriya, everyone's happy with that? Okay, fine. We'll continue. Okay, etc. V'yesh b'ivriya, yeah, but v'yesh b'ivriya, but some things only apply to a woman slave and don't apply to a male slave. Shari ivriya yoytze b'simonin, and ivriya goes out once she has the 2 hairs, while an eved ivri doesn't go out with 2 hairs. Ve'einen imkeres v'nishnes, the ama ivriya, you can't sell her twice. The father can sell her once, he cannot sell her twice. He can't sell her another time. Once she went free, there's no other time that she can be sold. Yeah? Ve'eina nimkeres v'nishnes, umafdin oiso ba'al korchoi. And also, emnama ivriya, you force her out of the odoin for money. That's the poshup shot. Although we're going to change it, yeah, let's say I am a relative or a father, let's say, and I say, I want my daughter back from you. I sold you my daughter for 6 million. She worked for you 3 years. Then I'll give you 3 million and get her out. I can force you. He wants the woman slave. Yeah, he doesn't want the money. I can say, no, I want to give you the money. Give me back my daughter, and we can do that. The shein can be ivri, and ivri, there's no pidyon by force. Okay. So what did we say in the brisa? We said something very interesting, and everybody seemed to be very happy with it. Okay. Amama, what did we say? Yesh be'ivri shen be'ivri. I just want to repeat. What did the brisa say? Some things only apply to a man and not to a woman. What are the things that we mentioned? 6 years only apply to male and not to a woman. A woman stays after 6 years. Okay. The yesh be'ivriya, what also? Yovel. Yovel doesn't apply to women, right? In other words, the Yovel came after 3 years of her slavery. She stays there forever, right? Ubemisa odoin, the odoin dies, and Am Ivriya stays forever. Yeah, is that so? Everyone's so happy. That's all wrong, obviously. Everything we said now is absolute nonsense. The brisa doesn't begin to make sense, right? Vermini, frag the Gemara, how could this brisa begin to exist? What did we say in the Mishnah? Yesera olav ama ivriya, yesera olav ama ivriya, which means we said that all those ways out of slavery apply to ama ivriya, and she has an extra way out on top of the Eved Ivri, shekoina atzma besimonin, that she can also acquire herself back with simonim. In other words, Am Ivriya, of course, has, I really highly recommend you read the chart, in your free time, between one thing and the other. Look at the chart, okay? The chart can be very helpful. Clearly, an Am Ivriya does go out with 6 years, does go out by Yovel, does go out with the death of the Odoin, yeah, actually even more than the Sheshonim guy, right? So what did we mean when we say Am Ivriya Simonin? Besides all these 3 ways, on top of that, she also goes out when she starts her adulthood or puberty. Very good, but that's what? It's not relevant. Yes, you're right. 1 second. Okay, right. There's another difference that he's near and she's not near. That's true. That's true. Yes, that's nice. Okay. Amar Rav Sheshes answers the Gemara. There is so what did the brisa mean? Amar Rav Sheshes kigon sheyado. You know what the brisa meant? Sorry. You assumed so all along. Pshi, you guys are goinim. I'm surrounded by real goinim. Wow. Pshi, yeah. Omarova kigon sheyado. That's the answer. In other words, there is a way for the Am Ivriya, not exactly to go out. There is a way for the Am Ivriya to finish off her life in that household in a different way. What is it? If it's some happy note, the Odon tells the girl, the father of the girl, Arei bitcha mikudeshes li, but what? Not b'tabadzu, with the money that I originally received. That's called Yud, and then she becomes his legal wife. If she's his legal wife, then it's true. She doesn't go out in 6 years. She doesn't go out in Yovel. She doesn't go out with the death of the Odin, right? Because why? The way she goes out is what? Is by get. She's a regular woman now, regular wife. And that lady, on her we say, sometimes the Eved Ivri has ways that only apply to him, and they sometimes don't apply to the girl if she veered there and she opted for the Yud, or he opted for the Yud, and then we say everything else doesn't apply to her. The only way, by the way, I'm not sure Misa Sa'odon, it's Misa Sabal. It's Misa Sabal, she would get out, but it's not called Misa Sa'odon. He's a husband already. He's a husband. Exactly, it's changed status. If she was miyad, obviously, what's the chiddush? She's a married woman. Gita baya. The only way out is a get, or as you very nicely said, the death of the husband. But of course, a married woman can go out after 6 years. Oh, the oil is out, the woman is out. Answers the Gemara, no. Mount the Tema, one could have thought, very interesting, Havamina, loy libatla hilchiso mino, kamash malon. I could have said no. Maybe marriage that started as avdus and morphed into marriage, maybe I have both options. Maybe you could say, says Rashi, there's two girsois. One girsa and Rashi says, maybe without a get, wow, an Eshes Ish can go out with 6 years of Yovel. Why? Because Havamina was that she's Kilu, she's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. She's an Isha, she's a wife, but it started as slavery, started as Amma. So maybe Lavdafka get, maybe she also maintains the other ways of Sheshonim or Yovel. Kamash Malan, no, the slaver is behind her, nothing to do that. She's a lady. She's a lady of the house. She's a regular Eshes Ish. The only way out is by Yovel. By get. If so, if so, why is she going out b'simonim? We did mention in the same brayse, at the same breath, Amevria goes out b'simonim. That's not true about marriage. Once she's 12, once she has simonim, she has 2 hairs, she's out of the marriage. Ma pitom. This is what it says. The brayse spoke about all different scenarios. If the girl was not misyaed, she did not end up as married, then she's a slave, she's an amma, then she's comparable to the guy, to the man slave. And then if she was not married beyud, the one advantage she has over a man is the way out to go b'simonin. Very good. You're asking about nirtza and chinam. You were not talking about, I think somebody asked a question, that's true, but lemaisa, it's not so difficult, Alan, because we're not talking about ways in, we're talking about ways out. The title of this brisa is freedom. How do male or female avodim, how do they opt out of the slavery? And Ritzia is the other way around, is getting into slavery. Maybe that's what's not mentioned. However, I do appreciate the fact that you remember that Ritzia only applies to men and not to women. That is itself is praiseworthy. Omar says the heilige Gemure. We're still quoting the what you call it? The brisa. Yeah, ve'enan imkeres v'nishnes. Yes, right? We're in the 2 dots. What did we say? An Am Ivriya cannot be sold and resold. And that's going to be our topic from now for the next sugya. Can you resell a male Eved and a female Amma? Yeah, they were sold once. Can they be sold again? That's a question. What did we see in the Brisa? Seemingly, we differentiate between the genders. Yeah. By Bezdin, yes, by Bezdin.
It's not like
By
they
Bezdin.
the second time.
They were going to have second time. That's we're going to discuss. That will be discussed. How many times they stole from how many people? You're on the right direction. Then in Mikeres Venishnes. By the way, I have another answer to your question from a few days ago about the difference Yovel. Yovel by 6 years and Yovel by Yovel is not the same at all. Yeah, it's a Gemara which we've seen a few days ago. We'll discuss it. Then in Mikeres Venishnes. Michlal, that is to say, the Eved Ivri, Nimkar Venishna, right? You say the girl, as opposed to the boy, as opposed to the man, she cannot be sold and resold by the Tate. Mashma, that a regular person, let's say, Be Gneva, the Eved Ivri, is what? Can be resold. Frek the Gemara, there's a brisa contradicting that. Vatanya. Look at the other brisa. Begnevo soy. Now this brisa deals with all types of droshes, which we learn from the word bignevo soy. What does bignevo soy mean in nice, crisp American or English? English? Hmm? In his theft or for his theft. Bignevo soy, in or for his theft. What's his theft? It's very exclusive, the word. Number one, bignevo soy velo bikfeloy. Let's say the person stole a very small amount, $1 million. He stole $1 million from someone. Halachically, how much does he have to return now? 2 million. Kefel, Ganev, in the middle of the night he came, not brazenly. Yeah, he has to give. We all learned Bavakama. Oh, now he himself is worth what? $1 million. So, no, excuse me. He gave back the $1 million. He has $1 million to give. The extra million he doesn't have. Usually, when a person doesn't have what to pay back with, for theft, what do? You sell him for slavery. Since in this case, the principal amount of gneva he gave back, he has $1 million in the bank, but that's all he has. He doesn't have the kefel. He doesn't have money to pay for the fine of the double of the extra. For that, you don't sell him. There's a cost of how will you get your kefel? Hope for the best. I don't know. But gneva soy means gneva as opposed to kefel. That's drosha number one. Drosha number two, which means, let's say the person was an Ed Zoimim. Let's say Reuven and Shimon said, they came to Beis Din and they said that Levi stole. They saw Levi stealing from someone in Bet Shemesh last Tuesday. They saw that Levi stole. I'm so sorry, Beis Din. Reuven and Shimon say. Reuven and Shimon then were proven Zoimimim. Last Tuesday, what? They were not in Bet Shemesh. They were in Gaza, near Gaza. Yeah, okay. Then what? Then they are Zoimimim. What do they have to do now? What's the punishment? They have to give Levi how much? $1 million. They said he stole $1 million. They don't have. They really don't have. Beis Din does a checkup on them, on the bank and everything. They don't have. So maybe sell them. No, as bad as they are, we make them pay the money, but we don't make them pay through being a Eved Ivri. Eved Ivri is Gneva and not Kefel, Gneva and not Zomomo. Begnevo soy. Oh, what's Begnevo soy? Which seems to be singular. Gnevo soy, his one Gneva. Also, the word Nimkar means one. Nimkar Begnevo soy. Meaning, Kevan Shenimkar Pam Achas, Shuvi Atarah Shalom Oichroi. Once he was sold once, you're not allowed to sell him again. Oh, listen to this. We're talking about a male. How do you know it's male and not female? Because it's theft. A woman is not sold for theft b'chlal, right? A woman is not nimkor for theft. A woman who stole, whatever you do to her is something else. She never gets sold as an amma. So now we're talking about a man, and we're seeing what? Shuv iyatara shel machroi. Once you sold him once for gneva, he cannot be sold again. That's a stira. Right? Our brisa said a man can be resold, and this brisa said a man cannot be resold. Omarov velo kasha. Rav and Abaye. Abaye will win. Omarov velo kasha. Kan bigneva achas, kan bishtei gnevos. Very simple, which means, let's say the person gneva achas. He stole 1 million, and he's not such a hot thing. He himself is worth $500,000. You know how much I would actually buy? Any person in the market would buy him to be a 6-year servant, maximum $500,000. Now he owes $1 million. He owes $1 million because he stole $1 million. So do you sell him twice for the same gneva? Do you sell him? We'll sell you again and again until you make up for the theft. That we don't do. Yeah, bigneva achas, we don't. Yeah, in other words, we don't say work for 6 years, $500,000, and then after the 6 years are over, you'll do another 6 years for the other $500,000. That we don't do. Because it says nimkar begnevo soy, one mechira per one gneva, right? Yeah, so you don't sell him for that. Masha'en ken shtei gnevos. Let's say the person stole twice. He stole, and before Beis Din, before there was a Amud Bedin, by the way, to do what you said, Tzvi. In other words, he actually nimkar venishna. When is it that he sold twice? Yeah, let's say he stole what? 1 million, and then he stole again 1 million. How much is he worth? 1 million. If you stole from Reuven on Sunday, and then again you stole from Reuven on Thursday, you stole on Sunday $1 million, on Thursday $1 million, two separate thefts, yeah? So you have two separate files in the police, two separate files in BSD, then you will be sold twice. Why? Makes sense. You're sold every time per Gneva. Nimkar beGnevosa means Nimkar, one sale per Gneva. You stole once million, 6 years. You stole another million, another 6 years. Even though the court case came after both of them, according to Rava, still you chayv $1 million per each. You're worth $1 million, then we will reuse you. We will recycle, yeah, because it's not, yeah. If it's one gneva, we don't sell you twice for one gneva. You sell who you want per gneva. For the Sunday gneva, 6 years, million. For the million of Thursday, another 6 years or million. That's per gneva. Very good. Now, but Abai is asking, yeah, Frekt Abaye, yeah, that's what Rava says. Omerle Abaye, Abaye says, no, I disagree with the way you read the Pasuk Rava. Omerle Abaye, Bignevosoi Tuva Mashma, which means Abaye says something in Hebrew dikduk. Sometimes it says singular and really it means plural. Yeah, says Rashi, Lemoshel Behemo Rabba. It says in Yoina, right? Remember Yoina, Yom Kippur afternoon. Yeah, Hashem said to Yoina, don't you feel bad about those people? So many people, and Behema Rabba. It means many animals, even though it says Behema, or Behadogo Asher Bayam, right? Hadogo Asher Bayor. Daga, even in modern Hebrew, Daga sounds like one, means many. You open a Hebrew atlas, the book of maps, it says Daga, it means fish in general, yeah? What? Like fish, deer, right. So then, so you see something singular may mean many. So says Abaye, I'm not sure right. Begnevoso ituva mashma. Nimkar begnevoso sounds to me like yes, you can have two thefts and still only be sold once. You Abaye, you're telling me no. Every theft would be what? One, and that's it. I say no. It looks like even though there were a few gnevas, there is some kind of case where there's more than one theft, and still the nimkar singular. That doesn't work. By verbs, it doesn't work like that. That doesn't exist in English. Yeah? Doesn't say nimkeru or whatever. Nimkar is one, and gnevosoi are many. So you still see that sometimes the man can steal more than once and still be sold only once, and not per every gneva. When would that apply? Rava, you're missing that. El Omar Abaye, and we stay with Abaye. Lo kasha. Kan be'odom echod, kan b'shnei bnei odom. Which means, if he stole from one person, Rashi says, by the way, it's lavdavka one person. Let's say there was one court case. Let's say he stole on Sunday from, let's make it simple. He stole on Sunday from Reuven. Sunday, he stole jewelry on Sunday from Reuven worth $1 million. Okay, very nice. Yeah. And then he was Oimed Bedin. He was Oimed Bedin, and then he went to Beis Din. Beis Din decided, Mister, you have to go and be a slave. He'll go be a slave. Okay. Now on Thursday he stole from Shimon what? His big fancy car, a few cars for $1 million. Yeah, the car of a Saudi prince. Yeah, $1 million. Then what? Then again you will sell him again. You'll sell him every time separately. Yeah, because every time is a separate person, separate story, separate din, separate court case. Then you'll sell him. Kol sheken, if let's say he was he was sold once and after he was freed, he stole again. Yeah, like people go out of jail, they become criminals again sometimes. Of course you sell him again. It's not like once per lifetime. So what did we mean when we say one selling for a few cases? That is, let's say you stole twice from Reuven, and you were only Oimed Bedin on both of them together. You stole from Reuven on Sunday, you stole from Reuven on Thursday, and then he took you to court and he said that's too much. Then, although it's two thefts, but it's one case, one person, one court case, then you only sell him once for the 1 million and you don't sell him for the second million. That's what the Abai says. What? It's not, I don't know. Well, it's not Yal Kagam. I don't know. It's not one of the Al Kagam because Abai was right. Usually Al Kagam is a start. Yal Kagam is 6 cases when Abai is halach like Abai. Yal Kagam usually means where there's a case and then Abai and Rava argue. Here it's Kil Rava said something, Abai rejected him. It's a different kind of style, but I hear what you're saying. Okay, what I said in Rashi, by the way, is debatable how to understand the Rashi, but this is definitely one way we can understand it. So let's summarize. Abai says, obviously, it's not like a person, everyone agrees, it's not like a person can only be sold once. Oh, as opposed to a girl. Oh, let's start even then. A girl can only be sold once. So far, that's what we know. The father sold her once, she did the 6 years or whatever, or Yovel came, and she's still young, she's still under 12. He cannot sell her again. That's it. By a girl, it's once in a lifetime experience. Slavery, once in a lifetime experience, she cannot be sold again. That's for sure. By a man, depends. If the man stole, was sold to slavery, out after 6 years and stole again, of course he's sold again. Or even before he was sold the first time. There are two separate, distinct, different cases. He stole 1 million from Reuven on Sunday and another million from Shimon on Thursday. Two different things, two different court cases, two different inyonim. He is sold and sold again, absolutely. Only when he stole from one person, really Rashi says it's not so much one person, it's about one court case. Usually one person will take the court. If he stole from Reuven on Sunday and on Thursday, and only then Reuven woke up and got the good lawyer on the phone and they got to BSD to claim two claims under one court case, and the court case involves 2 million and the person is worth 1 million, then you sell him for 1 million and not for 2. You sell him for 1, theft out of that case, out of that court case. That would say only 1 and not 2. That's the Chiddush of the Torah. Okay. Yes, thank you. Tono Abonon. Let's just get to the 2 dots. Tono Abonon. Gineva Elef v'shove 500. Let's say he stole 1,000 and he himself is worth 500, right? Yeah, Nimkar v'choizer v'nimkar. You sell him and you sell him again. 500 and again you sell him for 500. That's wrong. That's not like we said. The Gaon Mevilna changes the words of the Gemara, and he says like the Rambam, Ein choizer v'nimkar. In other words, yeah, if the person is worth 500,000 and he stole 1 million, you don't say sell him for 6 years for 500,000, and again another 6 years for the other half. We don't slowly but surely accumulate, add up, sale, until you actually, make it up. Unlike the version of the Gemara, Tosfos has another answer. No, you don't sell him again. So what do? You don't sell him. You find other solutions. Hopefully one day he'll pay it. Now, the chat will listen to later. Gneva 500 v'shove 1,000. What about if he stole 500? Yeah. Now, so Gneva 1,000 v'shove 500. No, excuse me. No. I was wrong what I said. Gneva 1,000 v'shove 500. No. Excuse me. I got confused. Gneva 1,000 v'shove 500. He is sold for 500. So at least the 500 he pays. Yeah, but he's not resold. He's sold once. Again, the guy stole for 1,000. Okay, he stole for 1,000. He owes 1,000 and he has 0. He is worth 500. So pay 500. You're not resold the second time, but one time you sold for 500. And that's it. Yeah, what will be the other 500? Hopefully he'll win the lottery. He'll make money otherwise. Yeah, but you pay what you can, even though it's less than what you owe. If you stole 500 and you're worth 1,000 for 6 years, you're worth too much. Over. In other words, you stole 500, and to buy you for 6 years, people will pay 1,000, no less. Will you be sold for 3 years? No such thing. You're not sold at all. Yeah. If you're too much, if you're over the price, yeah, it's a unit of 6 years. And if you raise your eyebrows, it's good. The Gemara also going to have an issue with that. But Lamaisa, that's what we say. If you're worth more than what you stole, then you don't get sold. Yeah? You don't say, let's sell half of me, meaning sell me only for 3 years out of 6. No, there's no sale. Rabbi Lezer Oimer, no. Im hoyo gneva keneged mimkor nimkar, dimlav eno nimkar. Rabbi Lezer says, by me it's very simple. I don't see any difference of half or double. If what you stole is exactly the same amount of what you are worth, then you are being sold. If not. If you stole, 10,000 and you're worth 9,099, you're not sold. You stole 1,000 and you're worth 1,010, you're not sold. It has to be exactly the same. Omer Rove says Rove, I like Rabbi Lezer Svor better. Behoz zachan Rabbi Lezer l'Rabbanon. Rabbi Lezer l'Rabbanon makes more sense. Zacha, he won the what you call it, at least partially, he won the argument. Why? Why is it that if he's worth 500, he's worth 1,000, we say you don't sell him? Because we learn later the drosha, the nimka kula amachmon of lochetzio. It says in the Torah, sell him. You can only sell him one package deal, one intact thing. You can't sell half of him for only 3 years and not 6. No such thing. If so, achinami nimka begnevoso amachmon of lo nimka bechatzi gnevoso. If you like totals, you don't like halves. I can say the same thing about the gneva. He's only sold for the entire gneva and not sold for half a gneva. And that's from some reason you did agree with, right? He owes 1,000 and he pays half the gneva, only 5 were being sold. Why is that any better? Says Rabbi, I don't understand it. As far as I know, Allah is like Chachomim, but Rabbi says Reb Lezer makes more sense. Question time. There's a question in the chat also. A woman is never being sold. Realize. I'm listening.
Someone sold 100 shekels, something, yesterday, 20 shekels yesterday.
Yeah.
The buyer buyers
Yes.
pricing for 20 shekels from the court. No, the court.
Thank you very much. Atzlocho brocho. Thank you to everybody in a Shiur in Torah Anytime in YouTube. Thank you. Have a great day. Atzlocho brocho. Yes.
The courts